Jose Dominguez versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 CO1, 1301, and 914. Anybody here on this case yet?
I think Mrs. Dominguez is back there, but
Who's the lawyer?
back there, Andy.
All right. Dominguez? You hear on Dominguez?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You ready to proceed?
We are, Judge, yeah.
Dominguez, you want to take a stand, sir?
Right over there.
Raise your right hand, be sworn.
Raise your right hand, sir. Swear a firm testimony you are about to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but truth, so help you God. All right, state your name out loud for the court. Have a seat. Speak to that microphone, please.
Jose Dominguez.
All right, Jose, how old are you?
62.
Okay, your date of birth is July 25th, 1950?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you understand you're here for purposes of asking the court to grant you a restricted driver's license?
Yes, sir.
And is it true now that you've been suspended by the BMV for a period of 10 years, correct?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
And the reason why you've been suspended for 10 years is because you've had major moving violations on your driving records, which consist of either OWI or reckless driving.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, you've been suspended by the BMV initially as of July 22, 2003.
Correct.
And is it true that since the date that you received that notice, you have not received any convictions and you have not been driving since the time you've been suspended?
No, sir.
As a result of that suspension, obviously that's been causing a hardship upon you and your family.
It has.
Now, you're eligible to get back your license, according to the BMV, in a few more months. It would be July 21, 2013, this year, correct?
Correct.
So you're asking the court to allow you a hardship license in between this month, April, all the way to July.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Now, some of the locations that the reason why you need this restricted driver's license is due to what?
I went to my doctor's, my bank, for stores, having close to church and work too.
And obviously, during this period of time, it's hard. You don't have the family members who are able to take you to and from these locations.
Right, sometimes it's a hardship even for them.
They've been helping you in the past, but now it's just being too much.
Yes, sir, it has been.
Now, you've never been, the OWIs that you received have never been OWI causing deaths.
No, sir, no bad.
They've never been OWI causing bodily injuries.
No bodily injury.
Judge, I have no further questions.
Prosecutor, any cross-examination?
Sir, if you were granted this license, would you be able to obtain insurance for a vehicle?
Yes, I will be yes, sir.
And since your license was suspended in 2003, have you been arrested for any driving offenses or taken in for any driving offenses?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, anything else, Mr.?
Nothing.
You can step down.
All right, thank you, sir.
Any arguments? Anything?
No, Your Honor, just need to qualify.
All right, court grant hardship.
Judge, if I can approach with a proposed order?
I had one in
You do?
file.
Oh, very good.
Did you want to provide proof of insurance?
Sure, Judge, yes.
Okay, you provide proof of insurance.
He has it.
Okay, all right.
Very good.
Carly Sacco versus Bernard Carter, 45 CO1, 1304 MI 55.
Morning, Your Honor. Here, call my client.
Mr. Strachey appears on behalf of Ms. Sacco. Please stand. I will you right hand this. You solemnly swear affirm tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes.
Please be seated.
Okay, Carly, we need to establish just a few things from your petition for the judge.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions. It'll be quick and easy. You're how old, Carly?
25.
All right, let's establish, I guess, let me back up one question. If you would state your name and then spell it to the court reporter.
Carly Sopko, CarlySopko.
Okay, you said you're 24. What's your date of birth?
I'm 25.
I'm sorry, 25 now?
Yes.
What's your date of birth?
3/26/88.
Okay. And where do you currently reside?
Lake and Woods Apartments. in
Okay,
Newark.
is it 413 Ruta Drive, RUTA?
Yes, sir.
All right. And your driver's license number is 0650458716?
Yes, it is.
All right. And you received notice from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that your driving privileges had been suspended?
Yes, I did.
And that was as a result of a chemical test failure, is that correct?
Yes.
That driving that you were stopped for, that was not in connection with the basis for your employment, correct?
Right.
All right. And you have not been previously on probation under Title IX of the Indiana. You haven't been previously on probation, period, have you?
No.
Okay. Your present license suspension is creating a hardship for you, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And for the court's application, essentially you work for this, oh God, I'm sorry.
Apartment complex.
Apartment complex. And you also take care of all their foreclosures, et cetera, is that
Yes.
right? So you have to travel to different courts throughout the county, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, including Hammond and Maryville?
Yes.
All right. And that if you can't drive, you can't do your work and you wouldn't be employed, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. The income generated by that feeds yourself, et cetera, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously there would be a hardship without it?
Yes.
All right. Now, have you ever been convicted of any sort of misdemeanor driving offense or felony driving offense at all, ever?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination.
Ma'am, do you currently have insurance?
Yes, I do.
Insurance? And your license has never been suspended or anything before?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Anyone else, Mr. Strachey?
Nothing.
You can step down.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any arguments?
No, Your Honor.
Only that I believe she qualifies, Your Honor. May I approve the proposed form of order?
I have it in the file here.
Great, now I have extras, but that's fine, that'll work.
Okay.
Was there only one there?
No, absolutely.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, post-grants petition.
Thank you. Am I being approached for a executed copy, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good. Bobby Matthews versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 C01 1303 MI 46.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Matthews is still not here yet. Can we pass this?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
We can pass it, no doubt. Gilbert Nestor versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 C01 1303 MI 39. Good afternoon, Judge. If you want to say that, have you solemnly swear to hear and tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? So help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
So would you please state your name?
Gilbert Escobar.
And Gilbert, you're the petitioner in this matter, is that correct?
Yes.
You've been a habitual traffic violator since you were judged so on October 5th, 2007, with an expiration date of October 2nd, 2017, correct?
Yes.
This suspension has been in place for more than 5 years, correct?
Yes.
You haven't had any operating issue, you haven't operated a vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
And as a consequence of that, you haven't had any tickets or anything for operating.
Correct.
You've never had a restricted driving permit before, is that correct?
Correct.
45 years of age,
Yes.
live at 320 North Woodlawn Avenue in Griffith, is that correct?
Correct.
Your take this position for the Portage Marathon in Portage, Indiana, is that correct?
Correct.
That would mean more income for you to support your family and your wife and your children, correct?
Correct.
And so you're hoping that you can take that position, but it requires a driver's license. Being without that, you've been working minimally at McDonald's as a dishwasher, correct? And has the financial strain been a problem for you? Has it been?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Now, Portage Marathon is a 24-hour operation with 3 shifts, as we allege in our petition, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you would work at different times all 3 of those shifts?
Correct.
You would, as we propose in the order, and you and I went over it again right before the hearing, all of the turns and such that you would have to make to get there, as they're laid out in the petition and in the order we're going to give the judge in a minute, that's all correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
There's no public transportation available for you to get to work, is there?
That's correct.
Your underlying offenses, your drunk driving and your 2 reckless drivings, none of those have anything to do with personal injury, serious bodily injury, death, anything like that?
No, sir.
And you're asking that this court enter the hardship driver's license, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the approach, I've got a whole bunch of orders.
Mulch?
Sir, you stated that you had never received a restricted driving permit before.
Correct.
And since you were suspended in 2007, you haven't received any kind of traffic infractions, speeding, anything?
No, I haven't.
And you were able to obtain insurance for a vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Anything else, Mr.
No,
Judge?
Judge.
You may step down, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Any arguments, anything else?
Just ask that you give us the relief back.
I believe he does qualify, Your Honor.
Court grants petition.
Thank you.
Alejandro Escudo, is Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 CO113, MI 36.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Okay, this is the case where you have this lady come
We do have an interpreter.
Mr. Chairman, sir, you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God. Okay, be seated. You can stand there next to the man. Try to speak up so the microphone picks up. Let me swear, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to interpret everything correctly and accurately to the best of your ability and knowledge? Okay.
For the record, would you state your name?
Diga su nombre, por favor.
Alejandro Esquivel.
Did you file a petition for restricted driving license?
Usted es una petición para que se dé una licencia restringida.
Yes.
And what is your date of birth?
¿Cuál es su día de nacimiento?
11-13-70. 11-13-70.
November 13, 1970.
And where do you work?
¿Dónde trabaja?
Soy trailero. Soy trailer.
El truck driver.
And do you work
What?
Truck driver.
Okay.
And do you work for a company called Total Package?
Usted trabaja con clientes en el Total Package.
Yes.
Is that 1601 Ripley Street, Lake Station, Indiana?
Yes.
And where do you live, sir?
¿Dónde vive usted?
107 Washington Street, Howard, Indiana.
Now, did you receive notice that your license was going to be suspended from February 27th until March 27th?
Se realizó una noticia de que su licencia iba a estar, digamos, suspendida desde febrero hasta marzo. Can you repeat that?
So, from February 27th until May the 27th, 2013.
Febrero 27 hasta mayo del 2013.
Sí.
Yes.
And was that because of lack of insurance?
Y eso es porque no tenía ningún seguro.
Sí.
Yes.
And do you have insurance now?
¿Usted tiene seguro ahora?
Sí.
Yes.
And was the fact that you didn't have any insurance, was that inadvertent?
Eso de que usted no tenía seguro, ¿ya terminó eso? ¿Que no tenía seguro?
Sí.
Yes.
Now, how are you employed? Your employee is a truck driver, though, is that correct?
Trabaja como manejando un camión, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
And you've not been able to work during the time that your license has been suspended?
¿Usted no puede trabajar hasta que su licencia está suspendida?
No.
No.
And has that posed a hardship for you and your family?
Eso le está molestando a su familia, le está trayendo molestia a su familia, a su familia.
Sí.
Yes.
You're married, am I correct?
¿Usted está casado?
Sí.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
How many?
Cuatro. Cuatro.
Cuatro. Four.
Right. And you're dependent on having a license so that you can go to and from work, correct?
Usted depende de la licencia para irse al trabajo, ¿correcto? Yes.
And also during the course of your work because you have to drive, is that
Y
correct?
también durante el curso de su trabajo porque usted tiene que manejar, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
No tengo más preguntas, señorita.
Cross-examination.
Sir, your driver's license was suspended in February of this year for an accident. Do you have any unsatisfied or any judgments against you currently as a result of that accident?
Señor, en febrero usted se le suspendió la licencia porque a partir de un accidente. ¿Usted tuvo algún problema con ese accidente? ¿Tuvo que hacer algunos pagos o algún problema después del accidente?
Sí, tengo que tener pagos. Lo de mi casa.
Dice, los pagos si tuvo un accidente y en el accidente tuvo que hacer pagos a alguna persona.
No, yo no tuve la culpa, yo no tuve la
It was
culpa.
not my fault.
And you currently have insurance for your vehicles?
¿Usted en este momento tiene seguro para su vehículo? Yes.
Besides the suspension, has your driver's license ever been suspended for anything else?
Aparte de esta suspensión, ¿su licencia alguna vez estado suspendida por otra cosa?
Hace muchos años, pero yo ahorita no.
It was a long time ago, but no anymore. Many years ago.
Nothing further on.
Anything else, Mr.
Nothing else, Judge.
Nada más.
Could step down.
Puede pararse.
Any arguments?
Judge, I would just ask that you grant my client's
No?
Nothing further on.
All right, you have an order?
have an order, Judge.
Grant petition.
Thank you, if I may approach.
I made a couple of mistakes when I went over it. I put them in orders. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
Lenz versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 5 CO1 1302 MI 30.
Good to see you.
Afternoon. You solemnly swear affirm tell the truth and nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God? Okay, you may proceed.
For the record, can you please state your full name?
Kevin Lentz.
And Mr. Lentz, you're the petitioner in this matter, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, we prepared a verified petition for judicial review and a complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I prepared this with your assistance. Is that also correct?
Yes.
In that petition which is filed with the court, you had an opportunity to review that for accuracy and sign it.
Yes, I have.
Are the contents of that petition true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Now, in the petition, it indicates that you've been a lifelong resident of the state of Indiana, is that right?
Correct.
And when did you first start driving?
Approximately 35 years ago.
Okay. And did there come a time when the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles notified you that you were going to get suspended for 2 years, commencing July 6th of 2012 until July 6th of 2014?
I wasn't notified until last year when I went to renew my license.
Okay. But you were notified that you were going to be suspended in July of 2012?
Yes.
And that was going to be for 2 years? Is that right?
Yes.
And was the stated reason for that suspension due to a conviction for a reckless homicide that occurred in Illinois?
Yes.
And we discussed when that reckless homicide occurred. That was back in 1989, is that correct?
Correct. March 15th.
And the date of the conviction in Illinois was February 15th of 1990.
Yes.
And that's about 22 years ago?
Yes.
All right. Since that time, 22 years ago, has the state of Indiana continuously reinstated your driving privileges any time that you went for a driver's license?
Yes, every time.
And have you been continuously licensed in the state of Indiana since the time you started driving?
Yes.
Has Indiana ever suspended your driving privileges for that offense that occurred in Illinois in 1990?
No.
I'm sorry, 1989.
No.
Since that, did the state of Illinois actually suspend your driving privileges?
I assume they did. I never had a license in Illinois, so I don't know how they...
Okay. You don't know if Illinois suspended your...
No.
Now, since the incident in Illinois, have you received any other driving offenses?
No.
Was there a speeding in Florida?
I'm sorry, there was a speeding in Florida roughly 15, 16 years ago.
Was there anything else besides
No.
that? And we attach a copy of your driving record to the petition, is that right?
Yes.
Are you presently employed?
Yes.
How long have you been employed?
29 years.
And where are you employed?
I work for Bridge Patrolling in Whiting.
Where do you presently reside?
I live in Lowell, Indiana.
Do you drive back and forth to work?
I get a ride back and forth to work.
Okay. But do you need your license to get back and forth?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you typically drive if you're not suspended?
Yes.
Do you feel that the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, if they were going to suspend you, should have suspended you a long time ago?
Yes.
Has the fact that they've suspended you now worked a hardship upon you?
Yes.
And how was that?
I have to get up for work or leave at 4:30 in the morning the way my shift works. And I have a friend that lives approximately 5 miles away. If we're working together, he comes and gives me a ride, or my girlfriend has to get up early to give me a ride to work.
Okay.
And then I need to get a ride home.
And are you asking this court to order that the Bureau of Motor Vehicles not suspend your driving privileges or terminate the suspension of your driving privileges?
Yes.
And are you asking that based upon the doctrines of latches and estoppel as I explained them to you?
Yes.
I have no other questions.
No?
Sir, you've previously testified that your license is currently suspended as a result of a conviction for a reckless homicide with a vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Besides that suspension, do you have any other suspensions?
Before that, I think I had 1 or 2.
You had 1 or 2? Nothing further.
Anything else, Mr. Foley?
No, I can give a brief argument if you wish, or just rest on the evidence.
You can step down, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, I did a little bit of research into this. It's kind of almost a case of first impression, although there are cases in the state of Indiana that courts have examined with regard to a similar situation. There was one lady who was suspended after she should have been suspended as being an habitual. The Bureau of Motor Vehicles waited 18 months until they did suspend her and renewed her in that interim. And the court down in southern Indiana, I believe it was around Bloomington, found that latches applied in that case. Latches, obviously, the court's familiar with what the doctrine states, and basically is where somebody has a remedy against someone to assert a claim that they should ordinarily assert it within a reasonable period of time. And that's what we feel, that the Bureau of Motor Vehicles has waited for 22 years since the date that the Illinois conviction was entered, and 23 years since the incident occurred, to actually suspend his driving privileges.
This has always been part of his driving record.
Yes. So we think that's extreme, and under these circumstances...
What would have been, let's say they would have suspended him in 90, how long would that suspension have lasted?
Well, I'm guessing, because they're suspending him for 2 years now, that would have been the suspension that they would have imposed back then. I don't know for sure.
So they suspended him for 2 years now.
2 years. And I called the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and asked them, about this. I said, well, that's our policy. We have to honor the out-of-state conviction, and we're going to suspend him as a result of it. I said, well, yeah, you waited 22, 23 years.
No explanation.
They had no explanation. And I said, well, I thought that it would be that we could sit down and have some common ground, and that they would work with me, and they wouldn't. So that's why I'm here.
Anything else more?
Judge, I would just argue that the defendant doesn't qualify. Under the statute, it does spell out under 924-15-1A-2C that an applicant who has been convicted of reckless homicide with the automobile...
So you're not asking for hardship?
No. No, we're asking that suspension be terminated because of the doctrine of latches, not asking for hardship. You're quite correct, Your Honor.
So, I guess that statute doesn't apply.
Yes, Your Honor. I wouldn't have anything further.
Did the state get notice of this, or did they do it through you?
I'm sorry.
This was the first time I saw it. I thought it was a petition for a hardship. I apologize.
When I'm sure the court's file will indicate that I sent a summons. I don't do a lot of these, and as Mr. Mullins knows, the last time I was here, I notified the state, and I didn't have to, and I did in fact send a summons to the state of Indiana, care of the Attorney General's office, as well as to the state of Indiana, care of the Lake County Prosecutor's office. So they have been noticed, and they haven't done anything. And once again, my best guess is they probably looked at it and thought, 22 years is quite a long time. That's what I think.
All right. Court's going to grant the petition.
Your Honor, I didn't prepare an order, but I can get one. I can get one. Thank you.
Thomas Smith versus Commissioner Motor Vehicles, 45 CL1 1302 MI 29.
Swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Have a seat and speak loudly into the microphone, please.
For the record, could you please state your name?
Thomas Smith.
And Mr. Smith, you are 31 years of age, is that right?
That's correct.
And where do you presently reside?
In Crown Point.
Okay. With whom do you reside there?
My mom.
With your mom? Okay. She's in court with you today?
Right.
You're presently suspended, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're suspended as a result of being found to be an habitual traffic violator by the state of Indiana, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you were suspended for a period of 10 years?
That's correct.
And you, total length of your suspension is 10 years, is that right?
Oh, yes.
And you've served 5 years of that?
A little over 5 years, yes.
Okay. And we prepared a petition for a restricted driver's license or hardship license with this court, is that right?
That's correct.
And the contents of that petition you've gone over now?
Yes.
And are the contents true and accurate to the best of your understanding?
That's it.
Have you, besides being suspended for, getting arrested for an OWI, which is the basis of your HTV status, have you ever been suspended for anything else?
No.
In your driving record, we just took a look at it. isn't too bad except for the 3 major traffic offenses, is that right?
That's correct.
You've never been convicted of involuntary manslaughter or reckless homicide as a result of an automobile accident?
No, I have not.
Are you presently employed?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Causes lawn service right now.
Is that spelled K-O-Z apostrophe?
It's K-O-Z-S.
K-O-Z-S?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do there with landscaping service?
I'm a landscaper. As of right now, I'm getting drove around, but I'm supposed to be driving for them, and I go to and from all the different job sites. I work from Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, all over the place.
Okay. And when you, since you have been suspended for this last 5 years, looking at your driving record, you haven't been arrested for any driving offenses during your period of time, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And your employment, does it entail going from job to job?
Yes, it does.
So when you do landscaping, indoor snow removal, of course, luckily we don't have any more of that, but you have to go from place to place, is that
That's
right?
correct.
So are you asking the court to grant you a hardship license to do that, to drive to and from work, and during the course of your occupation to various job sites?
That's correct.
Okay. No other questions?
Sir, have you ever had a probationary license or restricted driver's license before?
I had a hardship back due to one of the convictions, OWI convictions.
So you previously had a hardship license before?
Yeah, I think it was 6 months.
Since your license was suspended in 2007, have you had any other tickets or any kind of driving offenses? Are you able to obtain valid auto insurance?
Yes, I am.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
When you talk about hardship license, you mean like a restricted driving permit after you've been convicted of an OWI?
I've never been. No, it was for the reckless driving.
Okay.
But I had a conditional license for 6 months.
Okay.
But that was it.
But that was as a result of an arrest?
Yeah.
Which supports this? Okay. No other questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Step down, sir. Thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any argument?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court grants petition.
Once again, I have a prepared order. I'll get
You want to do it?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Ronald Cox versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 CO1 1304 MI 52. Good afternoon. Cox, you want to raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, to nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please be seated.
Judge, before I question the witness, I have a copy of the driving record. I don't know if this one's in the file. I may approach you for your copy.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
Mr. Cox, would you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Ronald E. Cox, COX.
And you're here today because you are petitioning the court and you're filing for a restricted driving permit, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And your birth date is June 21st, 1946?
Yes, sir.
And you're currently suspended, is that correct?
Correct.
And that's due to a chemical test refusal back on July 4th, 2012?
Yes, sir.
And on that date, you were arrested for operating while intoxicated or driving while intoxicated in Illinois?
Yes, sir.
And that case ultimately went to trial, did it not?
Yes.
And you were found not guilty?
Yes.
However, the chemical test refusal suspensions is still current, and you will not be, and that does not expire until August 22nd, 2024?
Correct.
That's this August. You currently work, where do you work?
I work for, I'm self-employed, but I lease my truck to CPL Transportation, St. Louis, Missouri.
And you never applied for a hardship license before?
No, sir.
And your current suspension is not due to, you were not in the course of your employment when you received that chemical test refusal?
Yes, I was.
So you're currently suspended, let me backtrack. Currently suspended for a chemical touch refusal. On July 4th, the date of that suspension, you were in the course of your employment?
Yes, sir, I was.
And currently driving is the only way to travel to and from work.
Yes, sir.
And how are you getting around currently because of your suspension?
My wife wasn't driving me around.
And is your wife capable of driving you around anymore?
No, sir. She had surgery yesterday, or back surgery, so she can't drive me no more for a while.
And it would be a hardship on you and your wife if you were unable to drive her to and from her doctor's appointments?
Absolutely.
And you currently, have you ever been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor?
No, sir.
How long have you been driving?
Since 1962.
Never had a misdemeanor or felony conviction?
No, sir.
And the only basis for your suspension is the refusal that you were found not guilty?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to grant you this request for permit, for driving permit?
Yes.
No more questions, Judge.
Cross-examination?
So you stated the result of your license being suspension was an OWI, and that case was you were found not guilty to trial, correct?
Yes, sir.
Prior to that, had your license ever been suspended for anything else?
No, sir.
You currently have insurance for your vehicles?
Oh, yes.
You stated you've never been granted a restricted driver's license before for anything?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Counsel?
No further questions, yes.
You can step down, sir.
Thank you.
Any arguments?
Judge, this is an interesting situation considering Mr. Cox has never been convicted of any driving offense, felony or misdemeanor. He did go to trial and was found not guilty by a judge, and it's just unfortunate that he's unable to drive right now to get his wife around and to support his family. I'm asking the court to grant his request.
Mr. Mullins, anything?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, clerk grants petition.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have to prepare one report.
I got one here. Did you have another one?
Oh, yes.
I got several there. I don't know how many you want. Okay. You ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Byron Matthews versus Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, 45 CO1 1303 MI 46. Mr. Matthews, you want to step to the stand, sir? Please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge, so help you God? Please be seated.
Mr. Matthews, can you state your name for the record?
I'm B-Y-R-O-N, Matthews, M-A-T-T-H-E-W-S.
Your date of birth is 6/6/1981.
Yeah.
39 years old right now.
Yeah.
You still reside at 2242 Harrison Street, Gary, Indiana 46407.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you don't have a job currently, but you're seeking employment, correct?
Yeah.
You're currently suspended for failure to pay child support.
Yeah.
And I know there's a couple other issues. There's a driver safety class that you have to take.
Yeah.
You're going to do that shortly?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's some matters. There's one matter in Hammond City you're suspended for that I'm taking care of, as well as two other matters in Gary, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you run into some issues obtaining employment because of your suspension?
Yes, I was trying to seek employment as a security guard officer, and one of the things is you have to have a driver's license, drive around most of the sites and stuff like that, so I went on a few, half interviews, and they said that I need the license. I had all other requirements as far as my gun permit and my certified pistol class I did and stuff like that, but the driver's license thing that I didn't have, I need the most.
So you have a gun permit.
Yes.
You have all the proper training with handgun safety. Essentially, employers have told you that if they want to hire you, they just can't because you need to ensure that you have a license and get to and from the sites. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any is public transportation available to take you to and from these sites? I mean, realistically?
No.
I know you told the court that you were going to have insurance today. You don't have a copy of that, but do you have valid insurance right now?
I have valid insurance. I had got it on the 4th, and I just forgot to cut the paper off.
And if the court was inclined to grant the petition, we could follow up quickly with that insurance card and
Immediately.
provide that to them. Nothing for the judge.
Cross.
Sir, you stated that your license is currently suspended for delinquent child support, is that correct?
Yeah.
And your license is also suspended out of the Hammond City Court, is that correct?
Yeah.
Has your license been suspended for anything else in the past, for anything at any time?
Well, the child support, I assumed that it was automatically suspended, so I thought everything else with it that might have made it automatically suspended anyway, so I don't really know, I'm not sure, it might be.
Do you know what your license is suspended for out of Hammond City? Do you know?
It might be driving with no license, with no insurance or something like that, maybe.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Just a quick follow-up. Mr. Matthews, you're doing the best you can paying the child support, correct?
Yes,
If you had a job, would you be able to pay more child support?
yeah. And actually, I have 5 other children, so I mean, it's not like I'm not paying. I mean,
Sure.
split it between everybody.
Nothing for the judge.
Okay. You can step down. Anything else, Mr. Moore?
No, Your Honor.
You can step down, sir.
Brief argument, Your Honor. I was taking care of, I've been taking care of a few matters from Mr. Matthews. The Hammond City case and the 2 Gary cases will eventually be dismissed. We just haven't submitted those dismissals yet. I know it's not reflected on his printout, but that will be the outcome I can represent to the court.
Mr. Mullins?
Judge, my only concern is that down in Indianapolis, they have been sending to our office, anytime they have a prior suspension, under the statute, they don't qualify for the petition, but if the license, I mean, I can certainly sympathize with this predicament, and if those
Does he have a prior suspension?
He does, Judge.
For what? For what?
It's out of Hammond City for driving while suspended, along with the child support.
Yes.
I apologize. I didn't attach one to the original petition. That's my fault. There you go.
So, failures to pay.
Yes.
Isn't that why we're getting the driver's license now, or are these prior failures to pay?
He's trying to get the hardship now because of the failure to pay the child support, Your Honor.
Well, you know the state of Indiana's been sending these back.
I know they're taking a harder stance. I'm not sure if the court granted if it would go through. You know, ultimately, I'd like to see him have a job and be able to pay the child support.
I mean, these,
the greater good.
from 09 and 07, but he never had a hardship before, has he?
No.
No, Judge.
Has he addressed his child support in court?
He's tried, Judge. I told him that a lot of times they would work out a payment plan and reinstate them. I don't think he's able to do that to the lump sum they're looking for. If this doesn't work here today, we can, that would be our last ditch effort, but I'm not sure he's able to do that.
That doesn't preclude him, does it?
No, Your Honor.
Well, he doesn't have anything serious on here. So I'm going to go ahead and grant it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
I have a proposal order.
You do?
Can I approach with that?
Yeah.